Cool. I got a whole list of honorable mentions. Do you have some too?
Oh yeah, shit. I got all kinds.
So my first, they're kind of just as I researched and thought of them, and I have a few here, but Steel City Outlaw is a good one. It's a
Oh
good.
yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
One I really like. I debated on putting because but it's very localized to one specific area in town. The Man from Mifflin Town.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
called.
I almost had that on mine too. I really did. I about had that on mine. That's a pretty cool one.
Now here's one I think we're gonna have different drivers for, and I think you're gonna be wrong. The modern day cowboy.
Oh, I think of Derek Clayton
Yeah, you're wrong. It's
or
John
Derek
Gill.
Clayton. I mean,
Now
who did you say?
John Gill, man, from Indiana.
Oh, yeah,
He was doing it first. Always had the cowboy hat and the boots,
that's true.
the black and green 75. I remember like the first time I ever saw him, I was like, that dude is cool. And
Oh yeah,
but Darren Clayton, don't get me wrong, super. When you think cowboy and you're talking the open wheel world, it's definitely a fitting title too. But to me,
oh yeah,
modern day cowboy is John Gill.
that's true. That's true.
Blackjack, Blackjack Boggs. That one's kind of a historical one, fitting. The Flintstone Flyer, Mike Duvall.
Oh, Mike Duvall.
Got to watch him race a few times when I was younger. One you'll know, the Cricket,
Oh, Craig Keel. Yep.
Greg Keel. The Throttle, Shane Cottle. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was one of mine that I had on there too, or as an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm. The next one is actually it's fitting because it's semi related to our sponsor over at propane.com.
Oh yeah,
You know who?
the Gas Man,
Yes, Richard Griffin.
Richard Griffin.
He is
Yes,
known as the Gas Man because of literally had a propane company. I don't know if he still does.
yes.
Did. The Demon, Damien
That
Gardner.
Demon was one of them on my top five that I took off.
Uh,
It was
yeah, me too. That was another one I had a hard time not putting on there. Double D, Danny Dietrich's who I think of. I saw that's been pertained to a few other drivers in the past as
oh
well.
yeah,
Another one. Here's
Dave
another one
Martin.
that I had trouble not putting on my list, and our folks in Illinois will appreciate it. The Flatland Flash.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I know who in the hell that is.
Kevin Weaver, the B12.
Oh yeah.
Flatland Flash. And
Yep.
then from there, we got the Newport Nightmare, Jimmy Owens. His is
Yep.
also his other nickname, the O Show. I actually like a little more, to be honest.
I do too. I like that a
And
little
then
better than.
the Real Deal, Don O'Neill. We all know that one. The Tall Cool One. Do you know that one, Dwayne?
Yeah, it's Bob Pierce
Bob Pierce. Yes.
or Dale Blaney.
Or yeah, or Dale Blaney. Well, so Dale Blaney, I also had a trouble. Is it Lowrider too, or is that just kind of
Yeah. Yep. That's
okay.
another one.
Buckeye Bullet? Obviously, Dave Blaney. Um, Big Sexy Brandon Overton. That's always a good one. I don't know if you saw his helmet. His helmet
Yes.
was painted really cool with that prism
Yep.
and finish on it, sparkly stuff. It looked pretty cool.
What about a late model one, the Empire Executioner?
That Tim Fuller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one. I've always
Uh,
liked that one.
Mr. Smooth, Billy Moyer,
Yeah,
obviously. Black
I
Sunshine,
like.
you said.
Yeah, no, another late model one I always liked was the Rattler, Justin Ratcliffe.
Yep. That's yeah, he's still racing.
Yeah, I actually seen him when I went to Kentucky there at the end of the year.
Another good one, the Silver Shark, Scott
Yep,
James.
Scott James.
Uh,
Another old school, kind of in the gas man era, and that the Tempe Tornado, Leland McSpadden.
oh yeah, I always heard the name Leland McSpadden.
Yeah, Tempe Tornado or the Flying Shoe.
Yeah,
That's another one.
Schumann, the Flying Shoe. That's
Yes.
a popular one. One that we interviewed, our friend Jerry Bowersock, the Jedi.
Yeah.
The having
That's right up your alley. That wasn't in your top five.
having well, I'm taking points away from Jerry because he's never seen the Star Wars movies. So
Well,
We got
can't
nerds in
blame
the
him
title
there.
of this podcast. You got to have some nerdery, and he's perfectly set up for it, but hasn't seen any of the movies. I mean, come on, we gotta
That's
dock Jerry some points. Sorry, Jerry, it's just the way.
I see how he is, Jerry. I mean, I wouldn't dock any points. You think a guy that likes Star Wars, but one sticking on late models, one of mine too, Mac Daddy,
Dylan
Dale
McCall,
McDowell. I mean, I always thought that was cool. Mac Daddy.
Cat Daddy Clint Smith is another one.
Yeah, that's one I got confused. One of the sprint car ones, I always thought was cool just because known him. I seen him race his first race when he was 17, and
You know him.
yeah, known him. Was the Raging Cajun, Jason
Yeah,
Johnson.
yes, that's a
Late
good one.
great Jason Johnson, and being originally from Louisiana, and if you ever had any of the Johnson family jambalaya, you know where Raging Cajun comes from too. So that one was very fitting.
To go along with that one, a guy that doesn't race anymore, he's still around, and he was kind of racing on and off, but I don't think he's really doing much anymore. But he was a full-time Lucas guy at one time. The Intimidator, Chris Wall.
Oh yeah,
Number 71 late model. He always had the alligator on his car, but he's from Louisiana, so that's why his name was the Intimidator.
I've heard of him, but I didn't know his nickname. I was trying to think.
Then
what was Brady Smith's nickname? Didn't he have a? He don't race that much either. I thought he had a pretty decent nickname at one
I
time.
don't remember. I'll have to look. Another one that got $1 Million Man, Donnie Moran.
Right.
Of course, won the Eldora Million. That's his nickname forever. That works.
See, and you had Blackjack, obviously Jack Boggs, but also I think it's fitting for Brian Brown real well too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. Blackjack.
The smooth operator, Bobby Pierce.
Another sprint car one I like is Dynamite, Mark Dobmeyer.
Oh, yeah. I like North Pole Nightmare too for
yes.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is for sure, without a doubt.
Chubzilla, Chub Frank.
I can't believe that wasn't on your list, being how
To be honest, I never really cared for it. Like, it was okay.
Really?
But, his name alone is his nickname. I mean, Chubb's his nickname. It's not his real name. But
right.
I was always a fan of the Chubzilla schemes were cool when they did those a couple times. But I was always a fan of the Sky Blue and Stars scheme he had. That was kind of always my favorite one he had. So I wish Chubb or anyone from Pennsylvania, the Bear Lake, Pennsylvania area, if you're listening, I wish we could see that retro scheme just one time before you're done racing. I want to see the baby blue and stars back again. That was one of my favorite all-time paint schemes. But yes, Chubzilla became his nickname, there for a while anyhow.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, there's a ton of them.
Rocket Shep for Brandon Shepard. That's kind of his nickname now. Kid Rocket has always been Josh Richards, but that's kind of gone by the wayside as he's grown up.
Well, that's true. Yeah, very, very true.
Bluegrass Bandit, like I said, for Daryl Lanigan is a popular one. I'm sure there's going to be people like screaming as they're listening. Why didn't you say this one? Why didn't you say that one? T-Mac, Tim McCready, T-Mac, Terry McCarl.
Well, Smooth Operator. I mean, which I think you brought that up.
Yep, said that one. Fergie Time, buddy of ours, Georgia Bulldog, Shane Clanton, the Killer Kyle Bronson, Hurricane Earl Pearson Jr., Billy Moyer Jr. I see here someone listed Kid Smooth. I don't know if I've heard that much more, that much, a whole lot. One of my favoritist.
Yes, favoritist.
It's not, I don't know if it's really a nickname, but it's a reference to the car. Dan Stone, big brother, Dan Stone, the Super Deuce, the number 2 late model here.
Oh, really?
Was always called the Super Deuce. So that was always a favorite of mine back when that car first kind of started making the rounds. Mowequa Missile, Shannon Babb, obviously.
Yep.
Manitoba Missile, Ricky Weiss. Squirrel, Brian Shirley.
What about Brian Burkhoffer?
Yep. What was his? I can't remember.
Well, what was it? Muscatine. The Muscatine. It
wasn't Muscatine Madman, was it?
I think it was Mustang Missile, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't think it was ever that. I don't know. It was always just Berkey, I think. I don't know if he ever really had a true.
He had a Muscatine something, I know, at one time.
Oh, Salt Rock Express. That was another one I liked.
Yes.
Junior.
I had that too, because super cool guy. I met him actually and talked to him. We talked to him, Jesus, probably for 45 minutes one time after
Hmm.
one of the races, and super cool guy. I mean,
Yeah. Jeep Van Wormer is known as Spider-Man, even though Jeep's
yes.
kind of a nickname too. But he had some really cool paint schemes over the years on his stuff. So
Oh yeah, without a doubt. An old school late model one. I mean, not that it was anything flashy, but it just kind of fit. Was Racing John Mason.
hmm.
I mean, that always kind of
I know.
seemed to fit.
Here's another one. It's really obscure. I don't know how many people are going to know this one. I think if you're from Michigan, you'll get it. Big Block Bob.
Oh, Bob Flynn.
Bob Flynn. That was the one that always stuck with me. He was, I don't know if he's always known to have a big block. At some point, I think
I think so.
he
I
didn't,
think
but
that's where
he
it
still
came
went
from.
by Big Block Bob.
Yes. Yeah.
A Flying Farmer. That
Oh, I forget who that was.
Frank Cedar.
Yes.
Flying Hawaiian, Shane Yoder.
Yeah, Shane Yoder. I mean, that's yes.
The
Oh
cheater,
yeah,
the
there's a
cheater,
ton of them.
Devin.
Yeah, the cheater.
Cheater Devin Shields. Dirty Devin, which I told him get rid of that on his shirt. My wife doesn't.
Nah, I think you saw a lot of shirts getting dirty Devin Shields. I mean,
The Bellevue bitch, Ryan Missler.
I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what it is.
Oh, we get a text on that one.
No, not at all. I don't think you. I don't think you get text at all on that. Not at all.
Yeah, I got a question. Is there any nicknames you don't like that you've heard?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean,
Like one is not
there's some dumb ones, but
well, like the high side tickler for one for me is kind of like
oh, I love that one. That's awesome.
Well, it's fun. You're allowed to. I'm just saying that's one of them for me. That's kind of like whatever. But
Let's who's Total Chaos?
I just saw that too.
That's one of the late model guys.
Yeah,
Because I've heard that before. And it's like,
Chad Stapleton.
yeah, to me, I mean, I like Chad Stapleton. He raced pretty decent, but to be Total Chaos, you probably ought to win some major events. I mean,
Or
not that you don't win some, huh?
Or not be on the track at all. For total chaos, it's not necessarily a good thing. One I don't like or don't care for, I don't understand, and maybe that's just part of not knowing much about the guy, is a Kamikaze Kid, Tyler Carpenter.
Oh, Tyler.
It just doesn't make sense to me, I guess, but hey, teach their own.
Maybe it don't have to do with racing. Maybe it has to do with other things.
Like what? Like what, Duane?
Pit lizards or something. I don't know. Maybe it should.
Like so 3 months ago.
Well, maybe it should be the lizard.
So your boy Sammy is. Some people might say Slammin' Sammy is his nickname. Yeah. No, yay. What's up with that?
Yeah, Slamming Sammy Swindell. I mean, and it's funny because everybody says, "Oh, the guy's nicknamed Slamming Sammy because of running into cars." And actually, Terry Baldwin gave it to him for slamming the cushion so hard. He says, when Terry Baldwin gave him that name, he said, "What?" He goes, "The guy slams the cushion harder than anybody I've seen for a long time." So,
yeah, the Mouse Kenny Jacobs. That's another good one.
Well, some of my old school ones when I was a younger kid growing up in USAC, Duane Poncho Carter, a lot of people called him Poncho, and Larry Boom Boom Cannon. I seen Boom Boom crash a lot, so I don't know if that's how he got Boom Boom or what. But one time, man, he got hurt pretty bad at Winchester in a pretty bad crash. But I always remember Larry Boom Boom Cannon.
Yeah. Like I said, the Mouse Kenny Jacobs, that's one I probably should add on my list, to be honest, because I always
that's a good one.
Fun fact, I don't know if anyone, a lot of people know, but you got that because of wrestling in school, actually. From what I understand, he was a really quick, wrestler, so that's kind of where the nickname came from, which is cool. It followed him into the racing world.
Yes.
Another one, Travis the Rabbit Miller, who he passed away, but he was a 360 sprint car driver for a long time. There's a Run for the Rabbit memorial race every year for him. So that one stuck around for quite a while.
One that I liked, It was a friend of mine too, Kevin the Pup Huntley. I always liked his little shirts with the dog. That was always
Mhm.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and then Kevin Swindell, the Bulldog,
Yes, the Bulldog
was
for
his
sure.
before he was, before his accident that sidelined him.
Yeah, that was always a pretty cool nickname.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of them. I'm sure there's
Oh
people
yeah,
screaming at us. Paul's to the wall, Paul McMahon. There's one. That's another one. I probably don't.
that's one I really don't
Yeah,
like.
and
When you was talking about that one,
yeah, that's one for
just
me too. That's just kind of that's whatever. But
yeah, I like Paul McGann, and he's been on the show.
yeah,
Paul, I've always cheered for him even before he's on the show for
oh yeah,
years. But yeah, that's just I don't know
Danny
that.
the Dude Lasowski. That was always a good one. The Dude.
Yeah, the dude, the crowd pleaser.
Crowd pleaser Craig Delansky.
Yeah, that was always a pretty decent one too.
I'd say the ones that are like disingenuous more so or like forced are kind of like the non-favorites. Like I've heard, our buddy Ben Shelton when he was on the podcast even say like some announcers just they do the nickname thing too much. Anyone that's a Comet or a Rocket or whatever because the name of the town or like
Right,
they'll have 6 Rockets and 6 Comets at a track because the announcer just kind of dubs them as that. And those are
right,
kind of the ones I don't care for necessarily, but the organic ones or the ones from like the Mouse or Scrub or Chub, like those are
yeah,
from childhood almost, and they're pretty cool. So those are kind of my
right,
favorite. And then the ones that are fitting, Wild Child, Jack Odenship raced like a crazy ass for how many years, and it's just cool to it's still fitting all these years later.
or like chocolate Chad Wilson because he's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That's pretty fitting too.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Never know what you're gonna get at the track.
And to me, and I know you're gonna find this hard to believe, but I think late model guys have better nicknames than sprint car guys. I really do because there's a lot of really, really cool ones. I mean, there's some cool sprint car ones that are very fitting, but it just seems like there's some late model ones that are super fitting.
Yeah, and I think some of it's just the number of drivers and cars, and then just over the years, like it seems like sprint cars maybe less now, or maybe more so now, but over the years, like you had these good regional guys like Bob Pierce. He was
Yes.
nationally known, but he was really, really favored, obviously, through that Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky type area. We had a lot more, like now, for instance, regional guys. Like when you think of Wisconsin, you think of 2 guys, Dob Meyer and Bill Baylog, right? You only have 2. If go to, you say just Illinois for late models, you have, 10 guys that are regional standouts. Um, it's just kind of the like I said, it might just be the sheer number difference
Right.
classes, but yeah, it seems like over the years it's just and the thing I like with you know late models, it seems like the names are more organic almost. Not to say they're not in sprint car, like like we said, a few good sprint car names there, don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's just stuff like it's grown or was a nickname from childhood that had nothing to do with racing, and then they just happen to get into racing. So
I can't believe one late model one you didn't say is Superman, Jonathan Davenport.
yeah, I mean, it's just, to me it's kind of like it's another one that's there's 4 different Supermans out there
I
probably.
got an unofficial one I think is funny. Um, he probably didn't think it was funny, and I don't know if he knew it, but it was one of the funniest things. I don't know if you remember Daniel Cognishell that used to race with the All Stars 3 car that kind of crashed a lot.
Was it blue green?
Yes, like a green. I think it was a 3 car.
It was
I
a
think
white car with green lettering sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I helped the All Stars for a little bit at that time, a little bit, and a couple of drivers used to call him the Unabomber because they said you never knew when he was going to explode.
Oh. Yeah. And anyone out there, if you ever hear a driver referred to by another driver as a weapon, that's not a good thing either. So,
I about pissed my pants, and one of the guys were sitting there, and I like, yeah, and he I think he is chiropractor out. I think Knoxville area. Matter of fact, I'm not sure. It
Unibomber.
seemed like a nice guy. I mean, he crashed a lot, went through a lot, but I'll never forget. I was talking to somebody and was talking about him and goes, "Oh, you mean the Unabomber?" I'm like, "What?" Yeah, you never know when you got to get away from him because you never know when he's going to explode.
That is awesome. That's a good. Oh, my uncle, Uncle Bill Hahn, who's since passed away years ago, gave a guy the nickname of Zorro because they fucking Z's on the track. He said. So every time we brought that driver up, Zorro. That's what Uncle Bill wanted. He was pissed after race. He goes, "It's the fucking Zorro on the track." Nickname stuck forever.
Oh shit,
Zorro.
that's awesome.
That was a good one because he's
That's good.
on the track.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's really good.
that was always a classic.
Yes, yes. So another one, sprint cars I like in Pennsylvania is the Edge. I always like the Edge, Brian Mon.
Yeah,
I always liked that. It was, I don't know, it just seemed fitting, I guess.